Hey guys, welcome to Ring-a-Ding Wedding. So today, the topic for this series is guest list. We all go through it, we all will go through it, we all have gone through it. So for those who are married, please leave in the comment section below any tips that you have. Maybe I can consider. For those who are planning, maybe you have tips now, or maybe you're like, that was a cool tip. Leave it in the comment section below. I would like your advice and I would love some feedback how this is all working out for you. Oh, hello. So that would be greatly appreciated for you guys to kind of give me some insight. There may be things past bride has gone through that maybe could help a future bride. Maybe brides who are also planning, or brides to be that are planning, can give me their insight and say like, so I did this and it worked for me, or whatever you prefer. So thank you. We're gonna do that. I have a couple of things on my phone as to how I help myself narrow this down. This is what I thought of personally, and hopefully it'll help you in the long run. So let's get started. Let's just start off with plus ones. That's pretty much everyone's issues are the plus ones. I have plus two. Plus ones. What do? You give them one? Do you not give them one? If you give them one, how many do you give them? So a trick that I thought for myself for plus ones for some people who are single was, if you're single now, you're single next year. That's pretty much what I was stressed out with, because I would feel guilty. Everyone has been so kind and so generous to invite myself and my fiance, but then again, we were a couple. We've been together for 6.5 years, that when we went to it's weird, we went to our first wedding and we were together for 5 years at that point. So at that point you're kind of like, they've been together for a long time. So that was one factor that helped me narrow down my guest list, was if you're single now, you're single next year. Now what's kind of hard is what happens if they get together and I have like 6 months to my wedding. Again, you're single now, you're single next year. So whether you get in a relationship in that 1 year frame for my wedding, probably not going to happen. And as rude as that sounds, it's my wedding and I can't afford everyone, I can't please everyone, and everyone's gonna have their opinions and a lot of feelings will get hurt. And at the end of the day, again, it's your day as a bride and a groom. The next one is kids. So kids are hard. They are picky, they may not behave well, and it just gets really intense. So kids who are picky, it's kind of hard because kids only want chicken nuggets and fries, but I'm serving pasta. Now they don't want to eat because they're not getting their chicken nuggets and fries, but then it's kind of like, oh well, what do I do, because I just paid $100 for you to have pasta and veggies and all of that. So I said no kids, and the only time we're having kids is for our family, so our cousins, and that's pretty much it. So he has a couple baby cousins on his side, I have a couple baby cousins on my side, and that is it. So hopefully by the time that we're going to start this wedding and all of that, we will have cousins who are a little bit older. Kids are picky. Number two is some kids can be reckless. I have some cousins and I've seen some kids, and I'm sure my fiance has some cousins that I don't see all the time, who kind of run around, bump into things, break things, whatever it is, and I cannot take that chance. I don't want to lose my deposit. I can't afford to lose my deposit if it's, you know, a refunded one after we finish everything, making sure that everything was not broken, not chipped, not damaged, or stolen or anything like that. So I can't have kids. It always depends on the parents, how they were raised, how kids act. Do they have soda and sugary stuff, and then it makes them like hyper and all of that. But that's why it's also hard, because kids run around, they're sometimes a little careless when they get too excited and all of that. So that's why we're saying on the kids. Number three is, have we talked? If I have not talked to you recently or anything like that, I don't think you should expect to get an invite from me. If I have not talked to you within the last 3 years, heck, even the last 1 year, like this past year, I don't think it's going to happen. If you hit me up because you found out I got engaged, that's a little shady, but you know yourself better than anyone else. So if you're like, we haven't talked, we haven't seen each other, we haven't really said anything except like an Instagram post or two, Snapchatted each other, something that we just had to like snap because you thought it was funny, you had that in common, I don't think that's gonna happen. And I hate breaking people's hearts. I hate making people feel bad. But at the end of the day, it's my day and I have to be strict and down to the point where I'm like, I'm not having you or not. If I talk to you every single day, even every other day or every week, once a month, I think I would probably consider you. If I talk to you to say happy birthday, probably not going to happen. I have had a couple jobs prior to my career where I still keep in touch with a couple of my coworkers. What's sticky is that I don't talk to them all the time. I talk to them maybe once or twice every few months. I kind of spilled the beans at one point and I was like, yeah, I'm totally inviting you. And then now I'm kind of like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna invite them. And again, as much as I want to, I just don't think I can financially. We don't talk as often as we do, so that's kind of the sticky part. But that may not be the best tip. That might be kind of like, how are you as a person kind of tip. I think for me, a couple of coworkers from my past may be nixed, and then maybe a couple coworkers from my present that may be nixed. The next one is feeling guilty. Do not feel guilty. And I have to tell myself this every single time I decide to look at my guest list. It breaks my heart to like start hitting that delete button and be like, I'm sorry, you know, and then I'm like, should I put that back on? I feel really bad. You can't feel guilty. If you were even hesitant or even considering to take them off, you probably should take them off. If you really wanted them there, you wouldn't even second guess that they should be on that list. So that's something that I'm still trying to teach myself, and hopefully you guys will take advantage of that. But please don't feel guilty. Please don't think that their feelings are going to get hurt. If they were true friends, they would understand why they're not invited. I have 4 doctors in my office. I work obviously with one, but there's another doctor at the other end of my office who said family is important. So if you can't invite us, it's not a big deal. We will forgive you. Sometimes family does not, and that's something I had to think about too. Should I invite all 25 of my coworkers and their plus ones, or do I just invite 25 of them, or even less than 25 of them if I don't, you know, see eye to eye with some of them? So that's something I had to consider. I would suggest saying family first, and then do your friends and coworkers and any add-ons that you would like, but solely do your family first, because at the end of the day, blood is thicker than water. So that is something I would take into consideration. But please don't feel guilty as much as you want them there, or you feel bad because they've invited you to their wedding or their event, and you're kind of like, well, I haven't talked to them since their wedding. I don't think they're going to be heartbroken. Yeah, they're going to see it on social media. Yeah, they're going to have people who are friends with them and talk about it. But at the end of the day, it's your day. And if they're going to hate you for it and not understand the situation that you were in, they're not true friends. So please don't feel guilty. Again, I'm still trying to do that. So moving on. The next one is having an A list and a B list. Your A list is everyone that you want to go, that you hope and expect them to go. Your B list are people who you don't really want there, but you gotta send that invite anyways. There are a couple ways of doing this. You just solely stick to your A list, and if you're like, oh, I can spare a couple, kind of go through the order, you know, number them on your B list, number them 1 through whatever, and do a priority thing, you know, like a wait list. If you're like, they're probably not gonna come, then you can add them on, and all of that. Or, which is kind of like a sticky one, is you send out your A list, all of everyone on that list, their invites 3 months before your wedding. And for people who you're like not really feeling, you send them maybe 6 weeks. So you either give them like a 12-week period versus a 6-week period. It gets kind of hard when you have more time to work with your schedule than times where you're like, oh my god, I need to get some time off. I need to RTO. Request time off. Find a sitter. depending on if you have a destination wedding, oh my god, I have to find flights. Now they're too expensive because it's cutting it close. Things like that. Maybe that might help you. So having an A-list and a B-list is really, really ideal for soon to be Mr. and Mrs. because you're kind of like, okay, these are people who I actually want. And currently my number is at 207, maybe 268-ish. And if you're kind of like, yikes, that's a lot. It is a lot. Your A-list could probably go down, or my A-list would be going down to 180. And I just shaved off 80 people that I really didn't want there, but I had to invite because I was told to, or I would need to, or you can't just invite this person and not that person kind of situation. That's one way of doing that. So it would help. And again, if you're kind of like they're probably not going to come, slide the next one up from the B list to the A list and just kind of prioritize who would you really like to see there, who would you have fun with, who would make things okay for you. If you brought a person from the B list and you kind of weren't fond of them, why were they on the top of your list? So that's something to consider as well. Another one that ties in with invites is your RSVP cards. The way that my fiance and I are going to do ours is we have reserved blank seats in your honor. So if it's, I have a family of 6 because they have 4 kids and, you know, husband and wife, we would say we have reserved 6 seats in your honor. If they are alone, we would say we have reserved 1 seat in your honor. What also gets kind of sticky too is when you address your invitation. So when you would say to Mr. and Mrs. John Smith, you would automatically hope that your guests would be like, that's just 2 of us. But sometimes they consider it family. So that's why I would recommend solely writing out how many chairs you have, and then on the second section of the RSVP card and the lines, make sure that they write their names so you know who is coming. So maybe if they have 4 kids and the wife's like, well, I'm not going to leave Jimmy at home, and the husband's like, well, then I'll take Sammy instead. So then it would be like John Smith and Sammy Smith or something like that. Or it could be the husband and the wife. So I would leave that as an option too, because again, some people are not going to be considerate at all, and they're going to take advantage of you being so generous and them assuming that you're inviting everyone and every single family member to their party. Make it very obvious that they're only getting a certain amount of seats and they can only bring a certain amount of people. Sometimes they don't have a sitter, the whole family can't go. Sometimes one person wants to go and the other one wants to go, but they can't find a sitter, they may not go at all. So that's something to think about. And if they were desperate and they're like, hey, I can't find a sitter, we really would like to go, how can we make this work? I know you said no kids, you only reserved these many seats in our honor, what can we do? Kind of tell me to get back to them. Talk to your fiance, see what they say, and go from there. But always consult with your fiance. You don't want to make decisions without them. As a bride, not a bridezilla, as a bride, it gets kind of hard because you're kind of like, how do I make this work? How can I make this shorter? And you don't want to nix any of your fiance's friends, so you're kind of like, what do I do? So talk to them. So my fiance and I are literally talking to each other as we speak now, and we are deciding, do we invite people that he used to hang out with? Do they deserve a +1? He's concerned with social media. I said, but you haven't talked to them. And if they were friends, they would understand. Again, that's something to consider. Social media always gets a lot of people in trouble, but at the end of the day, don't forget, it's your day. So that is it for the first episode of the wedding series of Ring-a-Ding Wedding. I will hopefully give out some more tips. Hopefully we'll check out another venue soon so I can show you guys that. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.